Welcome to Divine Couples. Your host, Naomi Slater, will awaken your passion, deepen your intimacy, and invite healing into your relationships, working towards accessing higher levels of consciousness in all areas of your life. Come with us on this journey to explore and experience your fullest potential.
You are listening to Society Bites Radio, social interaction for the mind and soul. Thanks for joining us. I am your host, Naomi Slater, and you have tuned in to Divine Couples, adding intimacy, passion, and healing to your lives. AVISHAG HAYA CASPI is one of the founders and leaders of Tantra in Israel. She has been conducting workshops and private sessions since the year 2000 for couples, women, and singles in Israel, Thailand, and Europe. AVISHAG has been teaching for several years the Holistic Sexuality yearly course at Tiltan Bar Ilan College in Tel Aviv. She is the founder of the Art of Love Center that holds courses and private sessions. She has participated in sexology congresses around the world and graduated from Margot Anand's Sky Dancing Tantra School in the U.S. AVISHAG has regular appearances on Israeli TV, radio, and newspapers, and holds a BA in psychology, dance, and movement. AVISHAG, I'm so happy to be interviewing with you again.
Thank you. So do I.
Yes. So I would love to speak to you about communication, because I know that that is a very, very central thing that you work on with your couples and individuals. So maybe you can explain how communication and sexuality are connected.
Okay. Let's start with that frustrations and anger are not sexy by all means. And communicating our feelings can be a very vulnerable place for many. When a relationship lacks intimacy, we feel as if there is, like a kind of wall, a thin wall that you can name it, right? Like a blockage. It is definitely something that we feel. Um, when there are emotional blockages, no energy can really rise up. We're talking about the Kundalini energy that in the pelvic area, okay, the tailbone. So no energy can come up when we have emotional blockages. So I think that communication creates intimacy. Talking about our feelings, agreeing to be vulnerable is basics in any relationship. Because if we are afraid to say things because we don't want to hurt someone, then we hurt ourselves eventually, And we talk about communication as the key to relationship because, love is a feeling. If we don't have intimacy, if we don't express our feelings, even if we have good sex, it will feel technical, like something without a soul.
Yes.
So also the capacity, to generate and contain more energy depends on our emotional state, our ability to talk about our feelings. So when we communicate, sometimes we point a finger. We say, you hurt me. You can say the same thing as saying, I feel hurt. Because when we blame, when we point a finger, the other side stops listening. So part of the skills of communication skills is to learn how to express myself, to take responsibility on how I feel. We can argue with someone. We can argue with your thought. I can argue with your thoughts. You think this, I think that. But nobody can argue with how you feel. This is how you feel. So the idea is, to hold the hand of my partner and to listen. And communication has to do with listening. People sometimes don't know how to listen. And sometimes it comes because they cannot contain the feelings that the other person expresses. So the minute this is happening and they can't contain the feeling, they come up with with a solution to the problem. Well, nobody asked for any solutions. Just be there for me. Listen. You don't have to say anything.
Mm,
So this
yeah.
is something very important because when somebody comes with a problem, we think that we are still in the office, that we have to find a solution now to this problem. And we have to change the mode. When somebody
Mm-hmm.
expresses the feeling, we have to ask ourselves, what is he or she is saying to me? What are they saying to me? And then reflect back. I heard you saying that you are, you know, this and that. I heard you say, I heard you. This is healing
Yeah.
because we didn't
It's
have that when we were
incredibly
kids.
healing.
Yes, we
You
were
know,
told
I
what to do.
find
We weren't
I
heard.
I find that in so many situations when somebody expresses, what they're feeling and somebody tries to come with a solution, it actually has the opposite effect. It actually makes them feel worse. It makes them feel like there's something wrong with them, that they need to be fixed. And when you
Exactly.
actually just listen and acknowledge what they're feeling, like you said, it really does have a very deep healing effect.
Yes, and in relationship, many know very clearly what not, but lacks to express their needs and wants. Instead of
Mhm.
saying not like this, what do I need? What do I want? Express that. I need this. I would like this. But instead, we say, usually when we complain, we say what not. So
Yeah.
the way we communicate is really, really important. It can open the other person or it can close the other person.
Mm. Yes. So important to learn how to communicate properly.
Yeah, this is
Um,
a skill, to cross the bridge to the other persons, to think how, to try to feel how they feel. That's empathy. That's sympathy. You can call it all kinds of names, but just to be there, to hear them.
well, this is emotional intelligence, really, and
Exactly.
unfortunately, it's not taught in schools. Maybe it should be, because it seems so basic to having a happy and fulfilling life.
So many things are not taught in schools. We don't have
In-
classes of how to manage money. Basics. We don't have that.
yeah, very true. Yep.
Yes.
So, how does emotional distress then affect our communication and behavior? Because everybody experiences that on
Yes, of
varying
course.
levels.
Yeah. We have different types of behaviors under pressure. We have the peacemakers or the people pleasers. Okay. When they essentially, what they essentially are saying is peace at any price. They don't like conflicts. They don't want to feel rejected or anger their partner. Therefore, they please their partner. When they get angry, they hate themselves for that, and they will
Mm,
prevent the next conflict. They depreciate themselves, their needs, and their wants, so their relationship will survive. Sometimes they get depressed or sick, or sick. This is because the true
yes.
feelings are not expressed. They are suppressed. They act as if everything is well, but becomes passive aggressive. And they are the ones that will surprise us in a relationship. They will forget to do things. They will forget birthday. Oh, really? I didn't really mean that. You know, um,
Mm,
this is how the anger comes out. It has to come out somehow. You know.
right.
So this is the people pleasers or the peacemakers, and then we have the blamers. Okay, the best defense is offense. It's all your fault. Look what you did. You're so stupid. They destroy the other person.
Mm,
Usually, judgment and criticism is part of their character. They have to change the focus to what is working in a relationship and towards acceptance. This is alchemy because they will change themselves too.
yeah.
And then we have the super rational, you know. The super rational thinks that emotions are unreasonable and unexpected, therefore they don't want to talk about feelings. They would talk
Hmm.
about the rules and regulations, what needs to be done, what needs to be done, how you should be, and expectations.
The rules
The
and
emotions,
regulations of the relationship. That sounds so funny.
exactly, exactly. The emotions and feelings are controlled by them, and love cannot survive in this kind of vibe, you know.
No, no.
And additional, we have the denier, the one who deny. This is the last one that I have here. Of course, we can behave a little bit of that, a little bit from here, a little bit from that, but sometimes we have a clear, picture of who is the peacemaker and who is the super rational, etc. The one who deny, um, when they have a problem, they simply deny it. They behave as if nothing happened, all is well, you know.
Mm.
If you talk to them and they're uncomfortable, they change the subject and they behave if as if what is happening is not happening. They deny, they ignore, they don't care. Problem? What problem? All is well, no problem. You know, they're simply unable to cope with themselves and contain their own feelings and emotions. Therefore, they deny the feelings and emotions of the other.
Mm.
And again, the
Well,
feeling of love cannot survive in this kind of vibe.
yeah. Well, when you recognize these patterns in couples that you treat,
Hmm.
how do you bring it up? I mean, how do you kind of get them to realize that they're in this pattern without them becoming defensive? That's an art. I mean, that's really a skill to be able to do that.
Yes. Well, as I said, first of all, to be conscious of how I'm behaving, to find myself, in one of those characters or
Mm.
some of them combined is 50% of the way. Is really 50.
Hmm.
Understanding that, then conscious work on how
Yeah.
I and communication skills, how I express
Mm.
myself. Do I always express myself in a negative way? What not? Or do I really express need and want? This is what I need. Do I take my place or not? Because sometimes,
Yeah.
people argue about little things which are really, really not important. But why are they arguing about them? Because
Mm.
underlying, there is underlying anger, things that were
Yeah.
not talked about, emotions that were not expressed.
Mm.
And we can't suppress those feelings. Feelings are energy, they have to come out. So
Yes.
sometimes they come out awkward, you know, but not
Yeah.
showing up, but being late, but all kinds of provocation.
Well, speaking of feelings, how does our childhood affect our relationships and intimacy? Because we have all sorts of feelings when we're children, some of which are repressed by our parents, and so much of our lives are shaped by our childhood. So how does that affect our
Uh,
intimacy later on in life?
Very much so. Our ability to rationalize or think logically develops between the ages 8 to 10. Okay? So what let's say the first 7 years of our lives, we can think logically, we can rationalize, we feel our environment. If our caretakers, parents, whoever raised us, if they love us, we feel. If they're angry with us, we feel it. If they reject
Mm.
us, abandon us, we feel it. We can't say
Hmm.
something like I said before, wow, probably, daddy had a bad day at work. Oh, I really
Yeah.
understand.
Right.
Core beliefs created in those years. Feeling important. I'm not important. I'm,
Mm.
you know, all kinds of beliefs. Or I can if this is love, then I don't trust love. Or if I experience
Mm.
love as rejection and abandonment, usually it will be when someone doesn't want us, we're attracted to them. Because
Mm.
that's how love was experienced.
When they
So
were children.
yes, in order to survive in this